Om Tatvamasi. Namaste everyone. This is Namaste I here on the way of Dharma, and today we are going to speak about a brief discussion about how I began in magic, initiation in magic, and some few other things that I want to cover with you. Om Shanti. Before we continue, I'd like to remind you that if you are new over here, you are most welcome. If you are a returning viewer, please make sure that you do subscribe. Also, to those of you who are new, please make sure that you do subscribe, like the video. It's very important for the channel right now. So today we are going to talk about the initiation and how I began into this spiritual path. I think I deserve to give you a brief story about my initiation into spirituality and occult practices. Om Namaste I, fire. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadhanadhyaye Sarva Vignopashantaye Om Sumukhaya Namaha Om Gajagarnigaya Namaha Om Ekadandaya Namaha Om Vakratundaya Namaha Om Ganganapataye Namaha Ekadandaya Vidmahi Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dante Prachodayata. Om Shanti. So, as most of you guys might know from my live video that I have recorded, I'm a South African. I go by the name Nyana. My real name is Nyana, but you translate that name into my home language, which is Sesotho. Our tribe originates from a part in South Africa which we call Kwakwa or Free State. You pronounce it by saying Kwakwa. Yes, it's Kwakwa. So I'm a Sotho speaking individual from South Africa. I grew up in the township or location or slash suburban area or suburban township called Kagiso. I am a child of a father of mine, my father, who was in the medical field, not a doctor per se, but he was working a government job. I'm a son to my mother, who was working at the retail store, who for a long time was self-employed. So I grew up in Kagiso. I had a normal life just like every other individual that you would see on planet Earth when they are born. The first 7 years of their lives, they are normal. I went to a primary school, a Model C primary school, from which I decided to leave and then attend a school in the township, a more cultural school basically. It's when I went and then I gained my confidence and I developed a personality, which is what you see basically now. I'm outspoken, I'm confident, because all those things developed at that age. I was able to do presentations at the school. I was able to speak to the public basically. That's why I developed this personality, like I said to you before. So yes guys, fast forward, I went to high school, a Model C high school, and then afterwards I left the Model C high school, went to the township of Soweto, where my father grew up, which is his house basically. It has no one to tend to, basically no one to tend to it. So I decided to come back here with my mother. So throughout my life at that time, which was around 2014 up until 2017. 2014 was my high school years. I went to high school and then I was in grade 10th grade. So I was a normal individual, into women. I liked women or girls, because they are girls at that time. We call them girls. So I liked girls. I was approaching girls basically. And then in my grade 11th year, I went to approach more of the girls. And then I basically was a charmer, basically. I developed some charisma because it's something that I used to have, that I have naturally. So I went on to refurbish my skill, to work on it and harness it, because I was watching a few YouTube videos. So I then became Handsome T. I created an avatar which I called Handsome T. So I used to go by that name to boost myself in high school, because here and there you might find people teasing me, saying I have a big nose, all that stuff. I wasn't cool, so no one cool was hanging out with me. So every now and then I'd get uh, teased or bullied, basically. So then I developed that character. I became confident. By the end of the year, I decided to drop out of high school in grade 11 because of a guy that I came across at that time, who was Sandile Shezi, who said that he had dropped out of college to pursue his forex trading career. So that's when I started my life journey. I was so inspired to be rich, basically, and be like Sandile Shezi, who is a forex trader. So forex was just beginning to get into the hands of many people, or in South Africa it was beginning to become popular. So I decided to take the opportunity, drop out, and then went on to attend his courses, basically. And mind you, all that money was mine, because prior to that I had joined a money making pyramid scheme that paid me out very well. My high school years from 2014, I, I began to buy myself clothes. I began to take care of myself. I began to fend for myself, because now uh, I didn't have my mother doing that for me. He had stopped in grade 9, because I was now beginning to experiment with things like alcohol and cigarettes. But then I stopped, because I paid attention and thought to myself that if I was doing those things at that time for those particular excuses and reasons, it was going to come back to me and harm me in the future, because I was the only one who's going to be harmed, basically, experimenting with weed and alcohol, basically, not drugs, not drugs. No, no, I've never, and I will never, ever, ever, ever. So yes, guys, um, and then I began to fend for myself. I began to buy for myself clothes and all that stuff. So I used that money to enter and enroll into the course of forex trading. So I did so. Um, Unfortunately, on the year that I was supposed to do metric, the year that I've dropped out of school, I the pyramid scheme fell, because these pyramid scheme things, they always fall. So it fell. I didn't have a source of income at that time. I had agreed with my mother that instead of the school fees, she would have to give them to me, and then I'd have to use it to trade. If you make deals with with women in the ghetto involving money, if they are your parents, forget. Anyway, that's another story for another day. So I couldn't find funds to trade. I started with a few funds that I had saved up, and then I tried trading. And in the first, because it took me 3 months to get the hang around it, to finally learn what to do in the forex market. And then just when I just learned, in the third month, I was trading real account now. I lost all my savings to that forex account, and then I was so depressed. I felt like the world was closing and everything was basically going bad, because when I look back to my life, nothing of nothing that I can point to that could make me think that I had been worthy of success or good things, basically, because I had not struggled so much to a point whereby you think when I'm talking of struggle that I slept without nothing to eat, I had no bed to sleep in. No, it wasn't like that. But there wasn't anything in my life that had convinced me that I could have a life of being a worthy person, basically, of having luxurious things, because I didn't get those things when I grew up. But I grew up in a household where I had two parents, basically, but I didn't have any of that stuff. So yes, guys, having that background, I thought that my life was cursed, basically, and that was in 2016, the worst year of my life, basically, because I dropped out of school. Getting back to the reality of life, I found out very soon that it is not something that they teach us in school. So in 2017, I got exposed to black consciousness, and speakers like Dr. Laila Africa and those red pill, blue pill guys, those twins, basically, in the conscious community, the black conscious community in America. Prior to that, I had questions to myself about the religious system. We used to watch a TV channel on DSTV, which was called TBN, the Trinity Broadcasting Network. So on those platforms, we used to encounter people like TD Jakes. We used to encounter people like Creflo Dollar. We used to encounter people like Andrew Womack. We used to encounter people like Kenneth Copeland. We used to encounter people like Joel Austin, and who's this Chinese guy, the one that destined to Joseph Prince. Yes, we used to encounter those guys. And then there's another South African preacher, a white guy, who used to go to the same preaching school as my stepfather at that time. He was a pastor. Well, claiming to be a pastor, because yes, he would go about drinking alcohol when we were not here with him, basically. While he was minding the house, he used to go out drinking alcohol. Anyway, that's not an expose. However, he used to go to that preaching school with him. His name is Vulmarans. So Vulmarans, at that time, we had a case of Afrikaner people beating up black people, or a black person, a black man, and then they stuffed him into a coffin. So I was like, okay, why do such things happen to us black people? And why are not these pastors talking about it? Especially the Volmarans guy character. And then I was asking my mother about this. So at that time, they were Christians. We were Christians, all of us. So they began to shout at me because they saw me as a negative person at that time, because I had just dropped out of school and I wasn't handling life as I thought I would. So I was pessimistic in my approach. So I asked her, why are they not speaking about this on their platforms? So what are they not doing? And then I thought to myself about the Black American guys, African Americans. I thought about them, and then I immediately asked myself questions. Why are these Kenneth Copeland guys, why are these Andrew Womack guys not speaking about this? Why are these Creflo Dollar people not speaking about this on the platform, basically? And then I obviously got brushed off, but then it was a question in my cheetah, in my subconscious mind. So the events that would come after it would be an answer to that question that I had, a burning question that I had inside of my heart, basically. So what happened is that I encountered these black conscious people, and then on top of that, I wanted to learn about the wisdom of King Solomon. So I learned a bit about demons. This is where I came across the Grimoire by Michael W. Ford. You know how I really admire that guy, because now he's been a pivot in my spiritual journey. It was him, it was Balkadmon, and few other guys. So I came across that book because at the time I was now reading about veganism. I had just learned about Dr. Sebi. So I had a few of informations about biochemistry and the human physiology and anatomy. So I learned those things because learning was something I could cling on. The knowledge that I could acquire at the time was something that I can boast with because I was nothing at that time. I had accomplished nothing. I had no reason to be alive basically because now I was devastated. So I clung on to knowledge. I searched a lot about many things, and then I along the way, oh, let me go to the reason why I came to this point whereby I encountered the conscious community. Because at that time, when I was talking about the preachers that I asked about their platforms, I was reading the Bible and then I came across certain scriptures where they spoke of Jacob and Esau or Esau. So they gave a description of Esau, and he was the father of the Edomites, and they said that he had hair, fur, like that of a goat, and then Jacob, who later became Israel, was of a different temperament. So I took those descriptions and I was able to decode the fact that the Edomites are white people because they had red skin. Um, the Israelites were us. So I went into the Hebrew Israelites movement, learning about all that stuff. So someone calling, you might encounter it in my video, but I told them that. So that's where I learned about all that stuff. Yes, that's where I learned about all that stuff about the Edomites. And then I went on to learn about the story of Cain and Abel. Okay, that's fine. And then I had a desire to be wise because that was the only thing that I could do basically. So I went on to learn about the wisdom of King Solomon. I learned that he used to command demons. So I came across the Grimoire by Michael W. Ford, Adamu Luciferian Tantra, because now I was tracing the origins of the Edomites. So along the way, I was reading that Grimoire, trying to decode the ways of the devil because they say that the devil is a deceiver. So his best trick is deception. So I was trying to read those grimoires to find sense in why a person would follow such a thing as the devil, basically. And then because that book is about sex and things, I was so hooked and I was so interested in that because at that time I was in high school basically. So I went on to learn about that stuff. Along the way, in the conscious community in 2018, early 2018, is when I came across a brother by the name Bobby Hammett. That was a game changer for me because now he was speaking of the concepts of those things that I've been learning in my books. Because so far at that time, I thought that I was special as a black person. I was the only one who was learning about those Adamu Luciferian Tantra. I was the only one who knew about Michael W. Ford. So I thought I had some special knowledge. And then it was a game changer when I had people like Bobby Hammett speaking about such things, about such things. So it was a game changer for me. That being a game changer for me, I decided to study more. And then finally in 2019, I decided to start my practice. So when I started my practice as a Luciferian. So what was the mindset behind it? Initiation means to initiate something. When you initiate, it means you are starting, you are embarking on something. So when you embark on something, you are starting a journey basically. Another way to think of initiation would be a change of consciousness. So I didn't see initiation other than that. So I took a book by Beginning Luciferian Magic by Michael W. Ford. I decided to initiate or embark myself on the Luciferian path, and then I began as a Luciferian. Uh, Immediately when I did those rituals, first 3 days, I was able to get laid because I had a girl that I was pursuing for so long at that time, but now for some reason I couldn't get. So immediately after 3 days practicing, starting my practice, I get laid with that girl. It's a game changer. However, those beginning rituals over there, you invoke certain qualities inside of you. So when you invoke those qualities, while I was doing the ritual, there's something that happened. It came and knocked me over in my third eye. I was like, Kwa. So I think at that time, when I look back to it, something had went inside of me and possessed me basically. Not a full possession, but something had opened up in me because I was opening the gates of hell as the ritual would suggest. But instead of vibrating the words, I was doing these things, vibrating the word Azazel. I thought that's what they meant when they said vibrate things. So something happened and came and knocked me over. While I was supposed to say Azazel, and then you vibrate that word and then you open the gates of Arezul. But then I did that, something came into me, and then I went on with the rituals. So for the next following 3 months, I had a heavy weight on me, very, very heavy weight on me because I had done dealings with invocations, invoking spirits inside of me, and I couldn't understand what was going wrong. Anyway, I did that, and then after 3 months, when I had attempted astral traveling, because I had done astral projection, basically, I had just over there. This is my bed, guys. You see that uh, headboard of mine? Yes, I was doing astral projection, and then I went in between that headboard. I went inside of it, so I couldn't move. My consciousness, that is, my astral body, that is. Yes, so that's what happened. I then, after 3 months, I got, no, before even 3 months, I got a stone. I got introduced into gemstones. So I bought my first amethyst. So when I used to wear that amethyst, it used to bring me back into balance, into equilibrium. So I was able to manage myself a bit. And then after 3 months, it had left. The spirit that was inside of me, it left. I felt something leaving me. And I also felt this last year when I was going through a tough time, basically. I had negative emotions. Bad things were happening to me. So I think something had came inside of me, if not inside of me, but inside of my aura, manipulating me. So anyway, that's another story for another time. Anyway, so what happened? It left me, and then I started over. I cut off my hair because I didn't know what I was supposed to do, and then I started over with life, basically. I learned so many things from that time up until now. My life has improved so much from that time up until now. The things that I've managed to accumulate during those few years are enough proof to me that I can become better with spiritual practice. That salt lamp, I couldn't even afford it at some point. It was so expensive to me, I couldn't afford it. But with the help of the gods, I was able to do that. In those early years of occultism, because now I was beginning with fasting and all that stuff. So I was fasting, and then another guy saw a picture on my profile picture, a picture of Sri Hanumanji, and accused me of worshipping false gods. This was a Christian. Mind you, he comes from all the way, he takes my numbers, he sees my picture, he criticizes my picture. Years later, I have studio equipment now, I have a YouTube channel now. Now he wants to record music on my studio equipment, the same studio equipment that was bought by the utilization of false gods. You see, man, before we go even further about initiation, I just want to show you that people have a very, very bad mind. It's another level of bad mind that I can't even bring myself to comprehend. Because now, how do you do that? Years ago, I was nothing, I was nobody, I had nothing, worshipping false gods, as they would say. Today, I have something. I've accomplished these little things that I have now. But now, everybody wants to come and befriend me. Do you see the level of bad mind that we have to deal with when dealing with people? The common denominator in every suffering, every negative thing on this planet is humanity. Humans, I've never seen so much evil in my life. I mean, how do you do that? If I say something to you now, which is bad, which will hurt you now, I might apologize. But when I apologize, I still have it in my mind that I have said something to you, something like that. So I do expect that at some point you will be my enemy, basically. So how does a person say something about your beliefs and attack you at such a fragile moment when you are beginning to 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 find or search for things for yourself, basically? And mind you, this person is a practitioner of South African spirituality and also claims to be a Christian. So two beliefs that are contradicting each other. So such a person would attack you. I mean, how do you say do you attack someone and then later come on in their life and want to befriend them with the same mindset and the same intentions? You want to befriend them, and I must be able to do what? To record with him. I don't think that's gonna happen. And you will see what will happen when I refuse. There'll be gossip all around township that I'm a stingy person, I'm a wicked person. You understand? So guys, when we live among these people, it's so sad because I can never conceive the level of bad mind that they have. In the previous video, I told you that we have a cosmic mind. All infinity goodness is accessible in our mind. All infinity of negativity is accessible in our minds. So beware of what thoughts that you feed, positive or negative. You choose for yourself. Whatever thought form or thought path that you choose, know that it's infinite. So these people, it's a level of bad mind that I can't even bring myself to comprehend. Anyway, the main point about this video is talking about initiation. In 2021? Yes, it was 2021. I met a lady, a girl basically, who also owns a channel, is a vegan. She was speaking about initiation, and then I told her that she didn't need anyone to initiate her into spirituality, basically, because I've noticed that there's fake gurus, people with an air of mystery to them, a false mystery that they cloak themselves with. They cloak themselves with enigmatic phrases, and they speak in riddles, and they are cryptic. That's what they cloak themselves in. But if you can discern the truth, if you are spiritual, you can see that these people are nothing more than fakers, basically. So there's a lot of them in the occult community. I told her not to go into initiation. Is initiation better in the Kali Yuga or is it not? Can you find an original guru in the Kali Yuga or can you not? Chances of finding a guru who is legitimate in the Kali Yuga are very slim, basically. Very, very slim. Approaching slim to none, basically. Initiation, is it necessary in this Kali Yuga? One thing about the Kali Yuga is that everything is exposed. So we are in the most saturation of knowledge. So in that saturation of knowledge, it's overwhelming to a point whereby it causes a darkness and ignorance, which is known by the name Kali, darkness, basically. So it fills you up, it saturates the whole entire globe, basically. At the same time, there's an overabundant supply of information. You can initiate yourself. And I will say that again. You can initiate yourself. What does initiation mean? It means starting something, embarking on a journey, a change of consciousness. You can do that on your own. And then along the way, hopefully you will find a guru. Initiation for South African spirituality ranges anywhere from 10,000 to 50,000 rands, which is equivalent to what in US dollars? Let's just say not 4,000. Let's just say about 3,000 US dollars. That's how much you would pay for initiation in South Africa. South Africa is a developing country. We are Africans. The average South African earns 1,000 US dollars, equivalent to 1,000 US dollars. Those are teachers, basically, not the average, basically. I'm sorry saying the average. The average South African citizen earns somewhere from $250 monthly. That's equivalent to 5,000 rands, or even 6 or 7. But the average is 250 rands. So mind you, 250 rands. The social security for people who are unemployed in South Africa is equivalent to 20 US dollars every month, basically. But initiation, it's around 5,000 US dollars. With that kind of money, you can buy yourself a car, basically. You can start yourself a business, basically, a small business, informal business. You can live on that money. But the initiation is that much. On top of that, basically, there's fees that you need to take out, paying the ones that initiate you. On top of that, you need to buy alcohol on top of that, basically. You understand? So that's about what it comes up to, 50,000 rands, which is equivalent to 3,000 US dollars, basically. So now you are supposed to pay that. On top of that, you won't learn anything. The average South African spiritual practitioner can't even cast a spell for money, basically. Can't even do that. The average spiritual practitioner, all they can do is dance and make noise with those drums, basically. No esoteric knowledge whatsoever. And then obviously there's other initiators or gurus or spiritual teachers which are not accessible to everyone. I can't go and find anyone around here, basically. Maybe I can find them if I do rituals to find them, but if I were to be an average South African individual who doesn't know anything, the chances would be slim. You hear of stories of initiators, spiritual initiators, raping and abusing the initiates who are female. You hear of these stories of initiators condescending the initiates. You hear of these horrible stories where people, initiates, contract different types of diseases during initiation. That's for South Africa. Someone who is Indian told me that to chant the Ganapati Atharva Shirisham and other Vedic mantras, I needed initiation. Now here's my mindset to it. When I chant a mantra and I see results, I don't care about the initiation. I just approach it. You understand? So I don't care about being initiated. I care about spirituality. I care about finding my higher self. I care about Atman. I care about spirituality that much. If I die from any of these practices, or if I become mad from any of these practices, I don't care. I love it with all of my heart to a point whereby I don't care. So if any one of you guys wants to tell me about initiation, if I haven't found a worthy enough guru who is not going to charge me above my ability in initiation fees, I am sorry. I will keep on experimenting the way I do things until finally I get it right. Because I am sure as hell not going to be mad or any of those things that you make us afraid of. Because gurus, fake gurus, like to intimidate initiates and making them feel like they are doing something wrong. Spirituality, as I've learned over the years, it's something which is innate in every human being. That's why I don't teach everyone the dangerous mantras. Because as much as I can mash up people, I am wise enough to know that they can mash me up too. You understand? So spirituality is innate in every one of us. Those of you from India want to tell me about initiation, come to South Africa and initiate me. I am here. I don't have money to go to India to initiate. I don't have money to send on your accounts yet to get initiated by you. So far, I know many things. I know how to activate mantras. I know how to do many things basically in Hinduism basically. And so far, Google and the internet has been of great use to me, has been my initiator. Behind that, the gods that I'm worshipping in Hinduism, they are my true initiators. Being able to do this shows that I have a past life which is harmonious and in congruence with what I'm doing now. So if you want to initiate me, come over again. So for Indians, I can't really say much about their initiation system because I've never encountered it, I've never experienced it. So all I can say is what I've just said, the aforementioned statements that I've just said. That's all I can say. I don't know anything about your fees. If they are expensive, do comment in the comment section and tell me how you feel about the fees of initiation and how is the scheme of things in India. I see so many of you guys, my viewers, or rather some of you people, you keep on commenting on the mantras that I post, and then you ask me if they work. I mean, have you tried chanting? Have you tried doing it consistently over the course of 45 days? Do you think I woke up one day and I was able to do all these things? an African guy from South Africa, waking up one day and I'm able to do these things. Do you think you just get here? What about the hours that I used to sit chanting mantras? Sitting in an asana whereby my feet were hurting? What about the times that I used to go into my ashram doubting my practice? What about the times where I was procrastinating to do my practices? What about the times where I chanted the mantra for 45 days and I saw no results? What about the times I chanted Kali mantras and I immediately got destroyed? What about those times, guys? But because I don't speak about such things on my channel, you think they are not there. You know, as a wise man once said, a wise man by the name Alan Chapman, who authored the book about chaos magic, in spirituality, your results are determined by your effort. If you have 0% effort, you will have 0% results. So don't come here commenting and telling me that the mantras don't work. What effort are you putting into them? Who do you think will put that effort for you? Thank you for viewing the channel. Maybe that's what you should do. Keep on viewing the channel. You understand? So yes, guys, initiation means a change of consciousness. There's horrible things happening to initiates who are unsuspecting, who are naive. They can't even discern what they are going into. At some point, I used to even do homas or fire rituals, offering my clothes basically. All I would do is take the clothes, throw it into the fire and then chant, 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 chant. I used to get results from doing that stuff. Today I'm able to do a full ritual of a mantra and a full ritual of a homam. And that came from what? From the Jupiter ritual that I did this year. Jupiter initiated me this year. Plus it's the number of initiation, of spiritual initiation. When you count 2023, it's number 7. It's Ketu, the lunar node Ketu, the serpent planet Ketu. So Jupiter initiated me. The energy of this year initiated me. Otherwise, I used to chant mantras. I didn't know about the homam, that it activated mantras. I didn't know about the tarpan, the marjan. I didn't know about that. But I still got results from the mantras. I had books to read. Books from Balkadmon, who used to give you a mantra and a short information about something. I used to chant those things. I got results. So all of a sudden today it looks like it comes from initiation, or I need initiation to do those kind of things. All I need is a passion and a love for spiritual practice and an application. A clear heart and application will help you with that. The first enemy that I fought spiritually was from chanting a mantra. I couldn't even do the full ritual of the Purascharan. I literally took this Rudraksha, chanted 2 malas of a mantra. It was enough to stop witchcraft. It's not even my power at this point. They say that God helps those who help themselves. And yet people are still sitting around expecting God to help them without any effort. With that being said, it is always an honor speaking to you guys. If you are new over here, please make sure that you do subscribe. Please make sure that you like the video. If you want to learn more about courses and spiritual sadhana, and if you want to have more numerology readings, please make sure that you email me at asines.fya@gmail.com. Now there's a guy, I don't want to say his name, but he comes from the locations whereby their practice of spirituality is more of a shamanistic thing, basically. So now this person complains about someone who did something to him. So now he has episodes of encountering different beings attacking him. And I'm not doing this to expose you or to ridicule you or to make you look like you are nothing other than what you are, basically. So this person says that they are being attacked spiritually. I give this person mantra. He doesn't chant mantra. Does that person want help? The first spiritual attack that I've encountered, I dreamt of something. I had a series of nightmares. And I thought to myself, I needed to do something. I went and did something. Ever since that day, it's not tormenting me again. I do have enemies here and there. But as I said, some of them died. Some of them, if I were to bring them now, they can't even speak. They can't even speak because of the repercussions of their actions, basically. The divine Shakti Mother, Devi Bagalamukhi, won't allow you to do anything to her children. I don't want to mention something that just recently happened, but I was able to stop that with the power of Mata Bagalamukhi. People are constantly testing you. The level of bad mind that we have is just something else. So these beings, earlier in the year when I did that ritual, when I did that video talking about the spiritual attacks stories, the same beings that he is complaining about, I was able to get rid of those beings. I didn't know what to do still. I had the small knowledge that I got from Jupiter, took a mantra, incorporated that into my practice. I was able to get rid of that being. Something that's been tormenting him for years. I was able to get rid of it in a day. So does he really want to be emancipated or free from that witchcraft? That is a question that he needs to ask himself. Guys, if you don't start doing things for yourself spiritually, you will always find people who are willing to do things for you. The secret of most spiritual practitioners, let me tell you something, and this comes from experience and observation. When I speak as a person, I come across as a very, very wise person. Even in face-to-face encounters, immediately people associate me with the superstition that they have in their minds. So I already have an upper hand on them. I can name any price and the people can give it to me. If I say give me $1,000 and I'm able to convince you the way I'm good at convincing people at when I'm selling. If I can do that and convince you that I'll take care of all of your problems, mind you, at some point I couldn't afford that thing, but I can convince a person to give me $1,000 because I'm a spiritual practitioner. Automatically that person will be pray to me and give me that money. So most spiritual practitioners, they capitalize on that. They capitalize on your naivete and they put a price on it and then you pay them. So for me, even when I was selling in the streets, I didn't need to go to any traditional healer to perform for me a ritual, basically. Because I didn't have the money to do that, and I still won't do that. I'd rather die. So take matters into your own hands and start practicing. By practicing, you are initiating yourself into the spiritual current. Your ancestors are there. The gods are there. They won't lead you into something that will destroy you. If you get destroyed by your own making and not by the making of another person. People are constantly doing bad out here. I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but people, they are constantly doing bad out here. You understand? So I hope this is enough to inspire you to take matters into your own hands. If you want to learn about something, about how to do these things for yourself, because I won't do any rituals for you, I will put a price on teaching you how to do these things for yourself. Because I myself also have to eat in a close to being legitimate way of obtaining a living. Unfortunately, I have to sell these things to you. So if you want to learn about these things, please do contact me at sns.fya@gmail.com. If you want to learn more about your personality or a brief explanation about your personality, email me. We'll do a numerological reading. For those of you who are in South Africa and maybe Africa as a whole, if you know anything about the Korea, the international Korea, but I think they are because I've been learning about them. International Koreas, meaning on the continent of Africa. Email me if you want any products. I'll sell them to you. I have a Rudraksha, Japmala, or any kind of mala that you would like. I have access to those. Rings, protective rings, metal rings. I have access to those. Bracelets, copper bracelets. If you want to support me, because I know they are accessible almost everywhere on the continent. But if you want special ones that have scriptings on them, like Om Namaste I, protective bracelets, please do email me at sns.fya@gmail.com. It is always an honor speaking to you guys. I'd like to thank you for your support so far. If you are new, please make sure that you do subscribe, leave a like. If you have any questions, leave your questions in the comment section below. Om Namah Shivaya.